Good morning, everybody.
We're doing this live.
And there's some minor audio issues, and they're solved. Great. So welcome, everybody. Hi. Thanks. This feels great.
Absolutely.
So welcome to the deep dive of possibilities of Layout Builder for the site builder and content editor. I'm Frederik Wouters, and this is my coworker,
Wesley de Vriend.
Okay. Let me go to the next slide. We work at Dropsolid. We are seeing some things about Layout Builder. We like them. We did some user experience research, Ines, who is also present at the moment, and we improved on the Layout Builder experience. We're going to do a live demo of Layout Builder and also the improvements that we did on Layout Builder, and we're also going to show some other cool things and details on Layout Builder. Click next. So we are from Dropsolid. We are also currently in the offices of Dropsolid. Dropsolid is a company that's quite young, only 8 years, but we're growing very fast. We're almost at 100 employees, very much Drupal enthusiasts, but also a little bit of Mautic and Apache Unomi. And we built a digital experience platform with those tools to allow customers to have really personalized user journeys. We're very active in the Drupal world. We sponsored a lot of Drupal events. You see Drupal camps, Drupal cons, and we also have a lot of projects that we contribute back to Drupal. This is the Dropsolid digital experience platform. We build on Drupal as the content management system, Mautic as the marketing automation tool, and Apache Unomi for personalization. We have some extra artificial intelligence that we can segment our users. If you're interested on that, we have a separate session on that. Be sure to contact us, and we'll be happy to give you more information on that. It's fully open, so it also works with your Drupal, and not only our Drupal, it works with everything. It's open. Enough on that. We do some consulting, we do integrations, we do design, all other things, the Dropsolid things.
Our session is regarding Layout Builder, but before we start on that, we need to look at the past of content editing. So content editing, if we look at what happened before, we are going to look at structured field paragraphs, WordPress style, quick edit, and Layout Builder. We're going to go over this quite quickly because we already presented this in our previous session, which was on Tuesday, I guess.
There seem to be some image quality issues on the slide, so I'm going to try to switch the image here. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, share screen. This one. Is this better? Okay.
All right.
There you go.
So a bit of history for Drupal. We actually already exist for quite some time. We exist longer than Facebook, MySpace, but also things like HTML5 only happened in 2014, while the first Drupal version was in 2001. So actually, Drupal as a content management system has quite a lot to say and quite a lot of history in these content editing fields. First one, structured fields. It is what we were doing, I guess, from Drupal 1. I didn't use Drupal 1. I started at Drupal 5, but that's what I used, or what we mostly used, is simple title field, description fields, and custom fields. You all know it, and then every page looked the same. So then we moved on to paragraphs, which was a major thing for Drupal, but also for us, Drop Solid. As you can see, this is our list of default paragraphs that we had at some point. I'm sure for many of you, this is very familiar. There were plenty of different styles of paragraphs, which is fine. Then we went on to WordPress style, more inline editing. I'm not going to show the demo because we want to show much more than this alone. But here you should remember the Gutenberg demo. I'm sure many of you have seen that. That's a bit there on how that worked. It was very unstructured, a very unstructured way of saving things, but it did work. Quick edits. It was a brand new things. It went into core, but unfortunately, or maybe not, it is no longer in core. Will no longer being in core from now on. I have to say that it was a very good idea, but it didn't really give us what we want. And then we end up with the layout builder, which still has the original structured fields, so the structure and metadata. We are calling them now title and description fields. And we also have sections and content blocks. I have a slide for that. So basically, a page now looks in this way, like we can add a section, and then in each section we can add a content block. So here, add a section, 1, 2, or 3 columns in this example, and then add a block. Very easy, but that doesn't mean that blocks aren't just blocks anymore. What I meant to say with that is, like, we are very used to it. For us Drupal developers who have been around for some years, we're very used to using classic blocks, and they're very reusable and can be used on all different pages. But now we also have the inline blocks. They are not reusable, and they can be used in the layout builder layouts. Obviously, they're both teamable. That's the same. So really, the difference is the context. Where are you using them? You can still use the old classic blocks, but the blocks inside of the layout builder layouts are also called a block.
Right. Okay. We've installed a Drupal website with layout builder out of core, just for illustration. So if you go to the, let me go to the structure, content type. Oh, not comment type. Content type, and then basic page edit, or was it manage display? I think, yeah, manage display. Here you can see that you can use layout builder, and then you can allow the pieces of content to have a custom layout. So when you enable this, then this is like Drupal out of the box, like a plain Drupal, nothing installed. When you do this, you have like your classic page. You can view your page, and then if you press the layout button here, you can see, okay, there's something new here. This is the new layout builder tool out of core. And then if you add a section, you can, for example, I added a section here that's empty. Let me remove it just to see. Okay, remove it. And then just add a new one where I can choose the sort of section that I'm adding. I'm calling it new section, and adding a block to it. And I want to add an image, but there's no images there. So this is where I personally was blocked with the layout builder experience out of core. So apparently you have to have this field, and then you can start dragging this field. And there are some solutions to that are built in contrib modules, but out of core, I don't find the experience quite like good enough. So back to the presentation. That's why you saw that there's a lot of layout builder implementations emerging. We just saw layout builder in core. There's layout paragraphs that allows us to drag and drop paragraphs. There's layout components, Bootstrap layout builder, Rocketship, and I suppose that there's maybe others out there too. So a quick glance over these in the ecosystem. Layout paragraphs allows us to have a similar approach with paragraphs. Everybody, I suppose, knows paragraphs. Then layout components allows us also like the section approach and with components, so you can have components in a layout builder kind of way to drag and drop them and add and remove them. Then there's also Bootstrap layout builder by the ImageX Media, the company out from Canada, and they built on top of the core experience, but they improved it. You see also the add block buttons here, so you can also check that out. It's really nice. And as a programmers, you know how it goes. If there's 14 competing standards, we want to make like this the best standard, so we created another one. So we created Rocketship, and it's the best one. Why is it the best one? But because we have a UX researcher, Ines. She's also there. Small applause for Ines. Thank you. She did some research. She also presented on how to do this user research and how you can do it for your company. I'm not going to go over that, but the details were the result was that we had a much different visualization of the layout builder on the Drupal.org. You can see it in the Rocketship module, but here we're going to do live demos. And I think this is the moment of the live demo. We have multiple views because we're going to look at it from an editor point of view and also from a site builder point of view. I'm wearing the hat of the editor, and my colleague Wesley here is the site builder. So I'm going to show first the restricted, so I can do some content editing, and then Wesley will show how to like make sure that I don't break stuff and these kind of things. Everybody understands? Okay, let's go. I'm the simple editor. Let me see that I take the correct side. Okay, refresh here. I see that the machine is booted. Okay, so it's working. There's some stuff here. What you see here, of course, we created a demo installation with lots of content already in there, just to illustrate the possibilities of layout builder. So you can see the blue bars here and maybe some extra information. I already clicked manage content. So if you view the content, then you just have I'm an end user and I see the content. Yeah, it's rendering the pictures. It's quite slow. Okay. And I see the content being loaded like a regular web page. Nothing special there. But the moment I then go to manage content, this is actually the layout builder tab. You also have structure and metadata, which is the edit tab. So if I go to the edit tab, I now clicked on structure metadata. You see that this is the structured fields that we used to have. If I then go back to the layout builder tab, this is like how you can change the visualization of the page without changing the structured data of this item. So in, for example, an event page, you can have the structured date, the location, the structured data, and then make this event page look like completely crazy with videos and all these kind of things that you want on the event page because it's a really nice event page. An example here, I'm adding a section on top of this page. I'd like a full page. I was giving the example of an image gallery. So let's do the image gallery here. I like it with a black background. I don't like a background image on this section. Voila, it created a black section. You can see it here and here. Let's add some images. So I want a photo gallery. This is what I was talking about. I'd like a photo gallery. It's like and I was seeing in the chat some comments about Lego blocks. So I'd like toy pictures. Nice. Okay. I'm going to add some media. Let's add some files. If all goes well, I prepared some files. I don't know if I can multiple select those just to see if that goes. Hope that all goes well. You know, live demos, sometimes you have to take a little risk. Fingers crossed. Exciting. I took a lot of pictures. No? Computer says no.
Just select some pictures.
Okay. Let's start with one then. No, too much images. Okay, let's try again. I'm sorry. Start with one. Okay, uploading this image. And this one is creating the marbles. It's too big. Oh, serious. I took the one that's 11 megabytes. I'm sorry.
We could have uploaded them before, but
Yeah.
We like to take some risks.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So it's still stuck here.
Maybe just select some from the library, like what we agreed on.
Okay. 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 So. Oh. Let me add these images. Photo gallery. Toys. Add media. And then, okay. Yeah, network is slow today. Let's add these. I like surfing. Insert. It's doing that. Okay. Masonry. Some JavaScript. Living on the edge. Okay, and there's the content that we added it. So this is like, as a content editor, stuff that you want to do. What you can also see here is there's a header here, which also is in Layout Builder, but I cannot edit it. I cannot delete it also. Here you see I can delete this section, but I cannot delete this one. This is one of the things that we will focus on later.
Yeah, so you can edit it, but you cannot edit the section, but you can edit
the content.
And we'll show you how to do that later.
Okay. Other things that I have to show?
No, we'll just go to the next demo and we'll give some comment on that one.
Okay. Then, as a site builder, let me take the site building session here. Okay. Here I'm an administrator. Okay, up to you.
Yeah, you do your part first though. You prepared this one.
Okay. So, content blocks. This is the page that I was editing earlier. And here you see that if I do manage content, I can do more editing things. Here you see that I could delete this block and I can edit more of these things. What I can also do here, for example, and which is a nice thing, if I then go to a structure content type, I added a content type here, content type 2. You can create this kind of layout for a content type. This means that for an event, for example, you can prepare a fully visual layout, and all the content that is created in this content type will have this layout with all the assets and the visualizations and all the possibilities in there. So manage display. Here you see I enabled use layout builder for the content type 2. And then here I have exactly the same thing where I can start doing layout building for a specific content type, which means that's for all the content that will be created in this content type that will have that kind of layout.
Yeah. So maybe some extra context here, like as a site builder, you can decide what you want to do. If you want to use layout builder as a site builder, but just only allow editors to edit like just the text or just the images or something like that. Or if you can go back to your normal layout builder, the other tab that you were on content blocks, like here, if you click on configure simple header, if you scroll down a bit, yeah, like here we have the lock settings to really limit that block that only some people can edit that part. So and you can then obviously change that in the permissions, but here you can limit certain blocks from being edited or updating them or deleting them. It all depends. So you could say I want to have the header like we have here, and I want it always on every page. And you could force that, but all the rest of the page you can still edit as a normal content editor.
Okay. I think that was it for me.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then the section maybe, or are you going to demonstrate it later?
I'll show it in the next part.
Okay.
So this is a bit where I want to show you if we actually still need content types. I'll explain a bit further by showing the demo. Let me look. This is you. Yes. So I prepared a theme page here. So as you can see, we have a CEO here and some people who work here. But obviously, I forgot to add Frederick. So we're going to do that now. Add some content. I'll add a page. Frederick has a title. Hey, and he also has a very nice image right over here. So saving that. And then before we go further, I'll show you the team member pages that already exist. So this is mine. It has an image, it has a text and some code, but you'll see that Ines has exactly the same, or not. I forgot to add it, but Nick will have exactly the same. Now, if you go back to the page that we just created, and we do manage content here, I can import it from the library. So I created here team member, and then we have exactly the same, but obviously I can change the text that is in here. And then update that one. Save my content. Now I'll go back to my theme page, manage content here. We'll add Frederick in front. He is the most important one at the company for now.
Yes.
Yeah, let's save that one.
Save the page.
Yeah. So what's important here, like I added Frederick, but as you can see in my content overview, Frederick is a simple page, just as a theme page is a simple page. And that's actually what I wanted to show you. Not that you should throw away all your content types from now on. But what's important to know is that Layout Builder has a lot of functionalities or a lot of potential on this. And we could like very easily, like the content types that you only have like 5 or maybe 10 nodes of, just instead of doing that, just use the Layout Builder library.
With pre-configured sections and pre-configured layouts.
Yeah, I'll show you quickly in admin how you maybe should do that. Yeah. So let's create a new page here. Sorry. Just to show you how you create an extra library.
An extra section that is also in the section library, you mean?
Yeah. So we'll add like a 2-column section. Add a block. Oh no, I'm adding a section again. You see,
Yeah,
you're
interesting.
saying I'll do it.
Interesting to note here, if you scroll to the top, Wesley, because we're now logged in as an administrator, you can also see all the blocks that are system blocks. They are also possible to be able to use them in your layouts. This allows editors not only to use one-off blocks, like the new kind of blocks, but also to use like the system blocks that you as an administrator or a site builder configure for them to use. So this way you can create views or other kinds of dynamic or custom blocks and allow them to be injected into these custom layouts, which I think is a really powerful thing because you allow the editors to make really rich layouts with your code in there, with your custom blocks or your custom things in there. Okay.
So I'm just adding something very random here. Maybe this conference room, since we are in a conference room. And then it is as easy as just add it to the library, give it a label, a really good label. And from now on, I can actually already import it here, and you'll see I have my extra one. You can actually give it an image as well.
Instead of creating content types, you could create all different kinds of sections and have only pages in your Drupal site. And we're not saying that you should do it, but you could do it.
Yeah, correct. All right, back to the presentation.
Okay, so that was the live demo on the existential question. Here, back to the presentation. Let me drag this one away and show the presentation here. So,
yeah, other cool things. So I already showed you this one. So we can lock certain sections, like for example, the header. So yeah, this is more of a visual. So only that section can be added, and then we're using it as a header now. We could just as well do it as a footer that you cannot change, something like that. All layout builder things in modals, that was already in our demo, so everything is in a modal. This we also showed. We actually renamed some of these. We actually renamed edit to structure and metadata and layout to manage content to make it more clear for site editors. This is somewhat what we show. We can add the restrictions so that the site builder only has certain sections or certain blocks or combinations.
And you can define by role or by layout. This means that in a specific layout, if you have a specific role, then you can only use specific sections, which for a real estate site, for example, if you're an editor editing a house, then you could use like a specific section. But if you're a content editor editing the job openings, then you have different sections available and different content type things available. So there's a lot of flexibility in there.
The template library, we already showed you that one in the demo. Actually, we showed you this version, and I also demoed how to add stuff to the library. So you can add a section, but you can also add an entire page to your library.
And because it's just regular Drupal blocks, all the old stuff still applies. So I just show a hook preprocess block here, but it just works as well for all the blocks that you have in your page. So you can just preprocess every block in your page. And it's similar for theming and for all the other stuff. So all the regular stuff applies because you're just using blocks. Interesting also that the new concept that sections also has a template file, and you can also do these kind of things with sections. So you can alter them or do whatever with them if you want. There's one thing that's maybe a little different than it used to be. If you want to, for example, let's say we have all the team members and we want the layout to change on all of the team members. You could do it manually, one by one. But if you want to do it like automatically, then you have to loop over the nodes. You can see the entities here. Get all nodes sections, so get the layout sections. After you've got all the sections from these nodes, then take all the blocks, and then on these blocks, then you can do specific things. Do something with the block, I don't know, change the content or whatever, what kind of manipulation that you want to do, remove the block from the section or whatever kind of alteration that you're intending to do. And don't forget, the slide dropped off, but you have to then save your entity again because you're doing sort of a migration on the content of your node. So that's like, it's different as with a template. You're not just changing a template, you're looping over your nodes, looping over your sections, doing something with your blocks, and then saving your entity so the data is saved into the database again. I hope this is clear. So this is like different. There's also
problems or maybe
disadvantages,
room for improvements. Currently, there is no way that you can nest certain sections, or at least not out of the box. And that could be useful for certain layouts that you could do that. Multilingual, it works. Asymmetric translation work. That's about it.
What it means is that we needed to add some patches for that, and asymmetric translations means that you can translate the page, but you have to recreate your layout in your different page. So you can translate the page entirely. So you have to translate the page entirely. It's not that you have just all the blocks and you translate the blocks, for example. So it's really asymmetric. It's like a different page that you have to build up.
Content staging, although content staging is not really a problem of Layout Builder, content staging is actually a problem in Drupal. However, when you use Layout Builder, a good system to do content staging would be very useful. I mean, we have the previews, we can do all of that, but still, a better way of content staging would help a lot.
Maybe just for the people that don't know what content staging is, that means exporting content from one side and moving it to another side. So that because you're defining your layout as content, it will be saved in the database. And if you want to port this from your staging to your production environment, this is like, there's no ideal solution for that at the moment. In the past, you just had your templates and your config, you could just export them and import them, but with Layout Builder, it's not that easy because it becomes content, the structure of your page.
Migration to change many layouts at once. What we want to say with that is like the example I showed you with the team members. Like I created all 4 team members and then added the section from the library that I already had. But if you, for example, want to change all team members, then you either are going to have to do it manually for all your team members, or you're going to have to write some sort of a code to do the migration. So that's going to be much harder, and that's why I was saying like only do it with like content types where you will only have a very limited amount of. It sure works, but no, as soon as you add it to your layout, it is content. So yeah, if you want to change content, then you'll need to do migration if you want to change it as well.
To realize this in our Rocketship distribution, we had to do some patches in core, and we're really pushing them to get them into core. For example, with the translations and other stuff, we really want to get these things into core, so we're pushing on that. But be sure to give Rocketship a try. And I think that was our presentation. So maybe thank you very much for listening and being present here. So really cool. Really cool. Okay, I see there's some Q&A. Maybe we can do some Q&A. We still have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Can we add custom CSS classes to sections and blocks directly in Layout UI?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Also, is there any revisioning support?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. The diff module or something like it doesn't really work like with it, but sure, it's like any regular node, so revision works.
Okay. Also curious about the layout switch of the photo gallery. Is it a custom solution? Just asking because I maintain the view mode switch module, which might be a good solution for things like that.
I should ask our R&D section that. I don't know it by heart. I think we build it custom, but I'm not entirely sure.
Is the layout field default functionality? Did not notice almost. The layout field? I think it means the label.
The layout field.
Like the menu item?
Oh yeah. Actually that it says layout is the default. We just in our distribution, our Drupal distribution, we changed it to what is it again? Content, managed content.
Managed content, yeah.
Yeah, because layout was a bit confusing for the end users.
What is the best way to deploy separate layouts with custom blocks from dev side to production? That's a good question. I don't know what the best way is. All suggestions welcome in the chat.
Yeah.
How to clean up a garbage with bunch of old custom blocks that are not already used in any layout. Write a migration for that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everything in Nailbird is still in your database, so I'm sure you can do a query. It's probably going to be an extremely complex query, but it's still in there. Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay, great. More questions maybe from here? If you ask a question, I will repeat the question so it's on the recording.
The inline blocks, how are they linked to the node, to the entity, the field underneath?
Okay, the question is the inline blocks, how are they linked to the entity? Is it the field? Let me show that. I think it's even in the code example. Yeah, no problem. So here you can see that.
Or you cannot see it, but we'll explain it.
There is a entity has, so you can get the sections from an entity. And in these sections, there is components. So, and the blocks are as components in the section. So it's like a two-way step, but yeah.
Different sections.
Does that answer your question? Okay. Okay, someone asked to show the migration code again. I'm going to like this.
Maybe we can just share our
yeah. The link, I will share the link in the slides in the chat here, and then I have one more question for all of you, and it is to give us feedback on the presentation because we're looking to improve this talk and to maybe do it some more. If you have feedback on this talk, please. Go to the overview, and I don't know where they do the surveys, but please give us some feedback because I'm really interested in improving this talk. On the event here, if you have some questions or remarks, please come to me. My ego is out of the equation. I'm really wanting to learn about this talk. So thank you again, and have a nice DrupalConf for the rest of the day.